Guys, it literally took me this long to realize this, up until I sat down in front of this camera to do this review. I'm just noticing that the title of this film is just Ben Affleck's character's job title in reverse. Son of a bitch, that's clever. The Tender Bar is the latest coming-of-age drama to hit exclusively on Amazon Prime. I got a nice little window to check this movie out recently. It was directed by George Clooney, and it stars the likes of Ben Affleck, Ty Sheridan, Lily Rabe, and Christopher Lloyd. Love seeing Doc Brown himself as the grandfather in this. And this is set in 1972, where 9-year-old J.R. Maguire moves into his grandfather's dilapidated house in Long Island, and he falls under the unconventional tutelage of his Uncle Charlie when he's looking for a father figure. Uncle Charlie is a charismatic, self-educated bartender played by Ben Affleck who introduces him to a handful of the bar's colorful regulars. As the years pass and JR grows into a young man played by Ty Sheridan, he tries to fulfill his dream of becoming a writer while going to Yale. So big shocker, I have not read the original source material, the memoir of the same name, before popping this on. Lo and behold, I went into the Tender Bar not knowing exactly what to expect here. And as evidenced by glowing reviews on my channel from some of my favorite movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I absolutely adore the coming-of-age drama. It's one of my personal favorites. There's just such a burst of nostalgia that makes you feel so warm inside every time you pop in a movie like Ferris Bueller, maybe even The Breakfast Club into your Blu-ray player or 4K if you feel fancy enough. And I think George Clooney certainly captures that nostalgic vibe wonderfully. And I was actually super happy to see this vibe work for him as a director this time. I wasn't the biggest fan of Suburbicon when it came out a few years ago. Definitely wasn't the biggest fan of The Midnight Sky a couple years ago. That was not a good movie at all. So it's nice to see him put out a halfway decent flick as a director sometimes. The Tender Bar is certainly a competently shot film. Really nice cinematography in here, and credit them for the old school style filters to make things feel old-fashioned. And when you also factor in a very old-timey score from Dara Taylor, this is nostalgia overload. Like you're back in the 70s by a snap of a finger. Now, I should note that if you look at the Tender Bar's poster and the top billing for Ben Affleck, who I'll certainly get to, it's a little bit misleading, because the Tender Bar is 100% Ty Sheridan's character's story. His character, JR, is an interesting one, because I'll be honest, I didn't necessarily know what to think of him at first. There were stages where he actually started to rub me the wrong way, and I don't want to get too deep into spoilers here, but it actually does involve the romance angle that he shares with this character named Sydney. Let's just say that the romantic angle in the Tender Bar was my least favorite part of the movie in general. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was the chemistry between the actors. They're doing fine work, but one thing really stood out to be a red flag here. The script does in fact allude to Jay Gatsby and his situation. And for what JR as a character is going through, it doesn't exactly turn out that way. The script can be kind of inconsistent, and that's just one example. This screenplay can also feel a tad bit repetitive at times. Like, if you guys choose to watch this film on Amazon Prime, I absolutely think you should. But I challenge you guys to take a shot every time someone questions JR's character what the JR initials actually stand for. I dare you. But then it gets to the conclusion of this film. This is where Sheridan really shines. Definitely felt a lot more sympathy for his character, and the situation he shares with his estranged father leads to truly mesmerizing scenes to watch in every single way. The third act of this film in general I thought was the film's strongest part. You want to talk about a big finish? The Tender Bar has one. But minus the romance angle, the first two acts are pretty solid in their own right, and that's led by some truly remarkable performances. Lily Rabe as the mother was truly remarkable in this. Christopher Lloyd as the grandfather was super fun to watch. Raise your hand if you were unaware he was in this movie until now. I didn't know either. Also, gotta give praise to Daniel Ranieri. I hope I'm pronouncing that last name right. He's making his feature debut as the younger version of Ty Sheridan, and he was really great. There's one dream sequence he has where he really got to explore loads of range for a child actor especially, and he was up to the task. Speaking of, guys, I'm pretty sure you know what the best part of this movie is. Take a wild guess. If you said Ben Affleck, you would be absolutely spot on. Well done. Affleck was just so damn fun to watch in the Tender Bar. Very different role than you would expect from him. He's not subdued really at all like in Gone Girl or The Accountant. His Uncle Charlie is so larger than life in here. He feels like a guy you would want to have around you in a social setting. Just seems like a really chill dude all around. Definitely the polar opposite of what he played in The Last Duel. Yeah, this movie was very good, guys. Aside from the romance stuff and some gripes that I have with the script being a little bit too inconsistent, I really enjoyed The Tender Bar. Give George Clooney credit where it's due, my friends. Amazon Prime has put out another great one. I'm gonna give The Tender Bar a B. Not bad. This is an early sleeper hit this year, which I get it. A week deep into the new year, I get that sounds a tad bit generous, but moral of the story is don't look past this one, guys. There's really a lot to admire here, especially as it goes with the performances. But this is all, of course, just my opinion. Let me know what you thought of The Tender Bar down in the comments section below. Hot takes only. And let me know what your favorite Ben Affleck performance is of all time, because I love discussing all new things cinema on the regular. If you guys are new to the channel, thank you all so very much for checking out the content, and do consider smashing that subscribe button along with that notification bell right next to it so you don't miss a future upload. This channel is on the road to 1,000 subscribers, a number we're hoping to reach very soon over here. Can't do that without your help though. You know what else would be tremendous help is smashing that thumbs up button on your way out, guys. That would be awesome. And as per, guys, stay tuned for more exciting content hitting this channel very soon. I've got reviews coming up for Scream 5 as well as The Tragedy of Macbeth next weekend, and I'll be starting my Harry Potter series of reviews before you know it. I've been hyping it up out the wazoo. Stay tuned, my friends. It's coming. But y'all are the best. I cannot thank you guys enough for your support up to this point. And with all that being said, back talk, commence.